Hei sann, folkens! Da ble det litt tekniske problemer, selvfølgelig. Streamlabsen min er veldig glad i Call of Duty og å være dansk, så av en eller annen grunn så kom eventet her opp som det. Dette her blir jo en litt annerledes type om MMA-episode, hvor vi skal streame live og ta inn litt spørsmål fra de som sitter og ser på, og hele den biten der. Nå er det jo sånn at dette her er jo ikke noen bare knuckle-podcast, men noen ganger så gjør vi spesielle unntak, spesielt for norske MMA-legender. Vi skal ha med oss Szymon Szynkiewicz. Jeg håper jeg sa navnet riktig nå. På en liten samtale her om hvordan han opplevde dette Ragnarok-stevnet som ble satt opp her i Norge. Så vi skal ta oss og ringe han opp her, og så skal vi se om se hva han har å si, rett og slett. Hello, Szymon. Did I slaughter your name? I don't know if you watched or the intro.
No, I didn't.
No,
What
okay.
did you do? What did you
No,
do?
I said Szymon Szynkiewicz. Is that
That's,
close?
it's not exactly correct, but that I used to it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to pronounce names sometimes. So you asked me yesterday if you could come with a statement here, but do you want to like do the statement at once, or do you want to like talk a little about the start and what your thoughts are, or
You know, I was thinking about this statement. Basically, I wrote and I share already what
Yeah.
I have to say about that. I think it's more about questions from people because trust me, I was last 2 days my phone get really warm.
yeah.
It's I understand people, especially the MMA community. It's kind of angry on me or whatever. I care and I don't care in the same time.
Yeah.
But I feel like as a grown up man,
Yeah.
I
I just removed the camera so it fits in better here, so you don't see
okay.
me. Yeah. Because I have a camera on me already. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I think like as a grown up man, I think that the people deserve to hear from me personally, not written things, but kind of face to face, how
Yeah.
much it's possible through the internet.
Yeah. Like I have some questions myself. Obviously, I made a post yesterday so people could write in their questions.
I bet you have.
Yeah, yeah. Because well, let's just go back all the way to the start. I think because it got announced in some Swedish media or something that bare knuckle boxing now was legalized in Norway, and we were gonna have an event. And basically what the whole Norwegian scene was saying was, what the fuck, how do they do this? And we started digging to see how this could be possible. They just surpassing us easily, just flying off, getting it legalized. Now we know the whole story, but what were your thoughts immediately when you heard?
Basically my history or my journey with Ragnarok. I say Ragnarok because I don't want to use any names, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody, by saying Ragnarok, everybody know who I
Talk about,
who I
yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
And who I talking about. So it's easier to with this legal side.
Yeah.
my story with Ragnarok start a little bit before that, uh, right after the Votore tournaments. I get I heard about this bare knuckle boxing in Norway, and I thought, yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. I that's my last thing in my bucket that I can fight with in the country where I actually live for almost half of my life. So it was back and forward. I get some contract. I signed the contract. I agree that I will fight. Then was this article in the Swedish newspaper. So I ask in personal conversation. I ask if how Ragnarok manage, and I get bunch strange answers. What actually had some sense for me. I'm not the lawyer. I basically don't care so much about the law. I know about the knockout law in
Yeah,
Norway.
yeah,
I know that it's impossible, but also I know that the boxing is legal, right?
yeah,
So I didn't dig so much. I decide, okay, if grown up man who went to the newspapers say he will manage to make this legal and he have plan for it. So why I should dig more?
yeah, yeah,
We are grown ups.
yeah,
Yeah, that basically I was also thinking, okay, if the boxing is legal, bare knuckle boxing, it's still boxing. We're supposed to have the same rules, same rule set. Only different is that the round's supposed to be shorter and we don't have gloves. That's it.
yeah,
So in my mind was okay. That's possible. MMA it's a little bit more complete. It's a little bit
little
more
bit more
things
complicated.
happen.
Yeah,
So yes,
yeah,
have sense for me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I get that. What people often might not think about is that as a fighter, you probably just love to fight and want to fight, and the the prospect of fighting in your home country, where you have either just lived for a long time or got born in. I think the prospect of fighting here kind of makes you a little bit blind to any question or question the legality of what the promotion is saying, because you want to believe the promotion, you hope to fight, and when you want to and hope, you probably get a little blind to criticism and other or questions,
Yeah,
um,
of course.
because I get that every fighter I've talked to just said I just really wanted to fight. That's the main thing. So they didn't think, and to be honest, he he had some fair points about boxing and bare knuckle and all that stuff, but when questioned on like equipment, you have to get approval for equipment, you have to get approval for fighters and all that stuff. It didn't seem like he even knew what kind of regulations there are. We know in a boxing event a couple of years ago, a fighter got taken off the card because he was 41 years old, for example. You
Yeah,
have you,
I
yeah,
didn't know.
yeah,
I get to know about that later on, and we come to this because uh, yeah, it's like we talk between me. I talk with another fighter who's supposed to fight in this card and his trainer, and we agree for one thing. If somebody will tell me the story what I'm gonna tell you now,
yeah,
I will never believe.
yeah,
You know.
yeah,
I would just say that you should change the medicine seriously because it's impossible to believe in the last week what's going on in my in my life. That was surreal. That was movie. That was
yeah.
hangover 5 or 6 drinks.
Yeah, what I'm thinking, we should get pretty much account of what happened, because maybe not everybody saw your post or read your post and all that. Many people just realized now that it actually got cancelled, I see. So what the last week, fight week, how does it
Yeah.
begin? How does it transpire? What happened?
And basically, I gonna go a little bit more back
Yeah,
for months, for weeks, months. Everything seems pretty cool. You know, a lot of promises, lot of information, not stupid information, lot of information. I ask few times. I don't remember how many times. But I ask in the group. I ask in private conversations how it's going with the legalize. He Ragnarok always had the answer that the papers are ready. Also, he was posting a lot of paperwork. What it's now it's ready. Now we're sending blah blah blah. I ask also when I wrote the question about how it's going with the papers. Was always it's good, or it was just the question disappear in the amount of the different informations.
yeah,
So I never get clearly answer. If I get clear answer, was like if I don't get the approval, I have a backup plan. Okay. Then I saw that was selling tickets, was pay-per-view. I was just thinking that okay, if in the country like Norway, somebody agreed to sell the tickets to the show, to the event, that need to be legit. It's another serious company who actually take the risk of losing money, right?
yeah,
So it was like was some questions in my head, but in the same time was also like, yeah, it need to be something what nobody know, and he keeping to and Ragnarok keeping to the last moment to uh, just you know
yeah. Turns out it,
surprise us.
yeah, it turns out they didn't even apply for a license to get it
I will
legal. So
I will come there. I will
yeah,
come there.
yeah,
The last week was more and more question marks. You know,
yeah,
of course, I don't have any promoter. I don't have any manager. So basically, all the stuff like traveling, like hotel, like stuff like this, I do myself. I have done some trainers. I have some friends who I train with, but still, basically, I keep the hand on all everything what it's about the fighting, traveling, and clothes and everything. So I ask for hotel. I get some link. Hotel looks cool, so nice. Then again, I get another link because that was some problem with this hotel, and I think I get like 3 or 4 addresses to different hotels.
yeah,
Day before I supposed to Thursday night, I already have a lot of doubts, and I talk with like people who are around me if I should even go there, if I just shouldn't pull out because
mm,
where is the point? I had more and more suspicions that this show will never happen.
yeah,
But in the same time, again, like we said, blindness of fighting in the country where you when you grow
yeah,
or not grow, but when you live,
yeah,
in front of the actually friends who afford to come and look at the fight.
yeah,
Plus, in something what was never ever legal in Norway. It was the same feeling like I went to fight in the first Votora, you know, when I was one of 8 of 1,000 people who actually signed into Votora tournament.
yeah,
So that's boost, you know, that's the kind of boost what we fighters love and we fighters want.
yeah. I get it.
Uh, yes, and I drove there. We skip a little bit because that's
Yeah.
gonna be another hour. Uh, at the end, hotel was 1.5 hour from the venue. Actually, 1.5 hour from from Kristiansand.
Okay.
Was nice hotel. Of course, the hotel was booked maybe half an hour before we came there, so
Okay.
it was totally mess. The woman in reception didn't know who the fuck we are and what we are doing. I need to explain, and was nobody there for us. Was everything on the phones or on the messages, not in the actually even not with the people who are on the charge in Ragnarok, but with the people who supposed to only cooperate with Ragnarok, but the poor people was mixed into to all this drama extra. Then we already knew that this show will not happen. I already knew, and I talked with my friends, and my friends also advised me to just it's no point. But since I'm here, I wanna have sure that that this show will not happen, or
Yeah.
I wanna have sure that he have any rights to make this show.
Yeah.
So I went for a way in. I went for a way in. I was totally mess. There was some scale from the bathroom to check the weight. People was sitting, waiting for everybody. I get late because I didn't care anymore. I went there to basically just say I'm not fighting, and say this to in the face to my opponent because the guy who traveled half of the world deserve to look at my eyes and hear some explanation.
Yeah.
So I went there. Was a lot of apologizing. Was a lot of already pushing the fault on the one of the part owner who decided to just quit and move away or go back to his country because there was no point
Yeah.
to continue this lies, and he was like he claimed he was lied in the same way like we was. So I don't have reason to not believe him, but also he need to prove that he's not lying
Yeah.
in this case. And then I ask, my first question was, do you have any agreement with the states or Kommune? Do you have any legal papers? And that's, I'm gonna say one more time, I ask for legal papers that you are allowed to make this show in one way or another. I don't care what way, just legal paper that actually state or commune know that we doing something like that. I
Yeah.
get the answer, yes, I have in the office. Okay. Do you have any agreement with the hospital, ambulance, cutments, judges, somebody who's gonna put the wraps on our hands? Do you have agreement? Yes, I have. Do you have this on the paper? I wanna see the contract. In every normal country, you need to have contract with the at least with the ambulance, right?
Yeah.
Did you contact with the hospital that suddenly can come here 12 guys with big cuts, broken hands, and some brain damage or something? Yes, I have. Can I see it? Yeah, you can go with me to the office and I'm gonna show you everything. I was like, no, I want you to bring this here that everybody can see. Legal papers with the signatures, with the name of the papers, like supposed to be in every normal country.
Yeah.
I was back and forward with the conversation. I decide to leave the. I said that I will not fight because this show is not legal, and in the best scenario we're gonna get arrested for fighting each other, or in the worst case scenario we're gonna go to prison for manslaughter or whatever you call this in
Yeah.
Norway.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I just went out because I felt that my aggression it's going in the really wrong direction. So I decide to remove myself from this conversation and from this place.
Yeah. Probably a
I
smart
went
thing.
to take some fresh air. A friend of mine came to pick me up again downstairs because he bring the documents, and from far away I saw that was just bullshit. It was something print out from the internet without any signature. I didn't even need to read this. You know, there was no point. It was no name of the document. Was no signature of Ragnarok. No signature of any of the authority from Norway.
Mm.
So I just screamed, man, it's a fucking bullshit. Where's the rest of the documents? And basically we ask everybody to go out from the room. Only fighters and trainers stay. And we had discussions where I tell to everybody, I don't expect that you're gonna follow me. I just want to explain you, I'm not fighting, and this show is not legal, and no of us should fight if you think about your future as a fighter and as a actually human being, because we gonna get arrested and we're gonna go to prison.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that nobody gonna fight. And the rest of the story you can read also that, or you can see that he still tried to continue the show, some bullshit show, because he didn't have any more fighters. He had some people who was too desperate to get any money from him, and that's it. And at the end, show didn't happen, and he get a little bit karma back from one guy or few guys.
Yeah, I heard about that. But so basically, what happened the day before at the weigh-in day was every fighter just left or quit.
Yes, that was actually awesome, because we supposed to beat each other up, and we managed to sit like grown-up men, like as athletes, and united, and just say no. It's we can fight, we can hurt each other on the ring, but again, we are athletes, same like everybody else, and we want legal and normal show. We want to, we deserve to fight in the show, not in the some bullshit.
Yeah. So the documents he showed you, they were basically fake or false.
No, that was not document even. I took the copy. I have copy at the home. So if anybody want to see this, I can take the picture and send. That was the mail from some lawyer.
Yeah.
That was the information. What kind of documents he need to prepare for having the legal show with the knockout, or legal fighting show.
Okay.
That was just document of what kind of document you need to apply for.
Okay, I get that. But
So
what I just don't get is what was the intention of doing this show when you don't even apply for these documents or apply to make it legal?
like the when the conversation went to the point where I put the one of the owner against the wall.
Yeah.
He said, but that was my dream.
Yeah.
I was okay, but that's not my dream to ruin my life. And I went again. So
yeah, because I don't get, because it seems to be like very unprepared, as unprepared you probably can get. I've hosted a couple of events in my life, and I've never even heard of this kind of thing, because I heard from someone that was down there. They went into the arena or whatever where the event was supposed to happen, and they saw a choir, a Christian choir, rehearsing, because they were going to have a concert there the same day in the same venue as the boxing was supposed to be. So what I don't get is, did he even book the arena to have the show at, or after I get no answer to any of the questions what I asked, was no point to ask any more questions, because it's no more answers. Yeah, because it seemed pretty weird to all of us, because I tried to ask Ragnarok questions like the legality is just, that's one thing, but in every pointed question that gave him some problems to answer, he basically said, I don't have time to explain all that now. And that's what he said for like a year and a half. Um, and they tried to come on or someone tried to get him on my podcast, and I just said no, unless he's gonna answer the questions, it's not even a point to have them on here. But so you're down there on the day before the fight. Every fighter just pulls out, and
not all the not all the fighters. I know one of the fighter was in a quarantine hotel,
Yeah.
so he actually came to the show
Yeah, okay.
to because we basically forgot about him, or I didn't even know that anybody's in quarantine.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be way in there, so I don't understand how everything was managed.
Yeah.
But yes, was one guy there. He didn't fight either, so at least not in the show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but uh, it's just so like unreal, because one
I
thing
told
is
you.
one thing is the legality, like yeah, having legal papers on the fight, but on the event itself, it didn't seem like anything was ready to host an event. Not the boxing.
I will tell you. I will just cut. I will tell you that we don't need to back to this. Nothing was prepared.
Yeah.
Nothing was no ring in the venue because they had problem to put up the ring half an hour or 1 hour before a show. Was no ambulance, was no cutman, was no paramedics,
Yeah.
was no referees. I asked for the referees, I asked for judges, and he told me that he has somebody from the kickboxing. And I was just, come on, man, we are not doing kickboxing.
Yeah.
We're doing boxing, and boxing without the gloves. So it's a bare knuckle boxing. It was, I fought in, maybe not in bare knuckle boxing. I fought in Valetudo in
Yeah.
bare knuckle MMA,
Yeah.
and I saw how everything looks from behind. I know I fought maybe not hundreds, but I fought MMA fights. I compete in the grappling and jiu-jitsu competitions, and even the competition what are not sanctioned by Norwegian sports association as a grappling it is, or at least was
Yeah.
when I was competing.
Yeah.
Uh, it always was paramedics. It always was some doctor who agreed to help, friend of friend of friend, but doctor with the doctor degree.
Yeah.
And even in this kind of shows was at least one doctor, was always paramedics. You saw the guys with the in the red with the jackets or with the vest with the red cross. So you come into the show and you know that you are protected. You are somebody gonna take care of you if you break your arm or you pass out or something.
Yeah.
It's there was totally nothing. He actually didn't even have any money because at the end I screamed to him also, man, you want me to fight in illegal fight? Pay me money.
Yeah.
Pay me money now.
Yeah.
Give me cash. So if I go to prison, I'm gonna have money for the lawyer at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
He didn't have any money. He lied because I saw that he posted about the that he bought the tickets or yeah, some bullshit information, some bullshit screenshots. He didn't have even one krona. People ask him. I know. I didn't saw this. I know this from the people who was there. The fighters who didn't live in Norway asked him for money for the tickets. What we had in the contract that Ragnarok paying for the hotel and for the traveling for fighter and one trainer.
yeah.
He didn't even pay for traveling. My opponent spent, I don't know, $2,000 or $4,000 for coming to Norway, he didn't get any dollar back. Plus, he was put it in a quarantine hotel because the Ragnarok didn't fix all the papers.
Yeah.
He get what I know. Also, I don't have. I didn't saw the paper, but I say I heard from third persons. He actually get extradition papers from Norway to United States. He's supposed to be kicked out from Norway. So
Okay.
that's some small explanation about my opponent, because I saw also already some drama that he hate Norway and say ugly stuff about the Norway.
Yeah.
To all my Norwegian friends, guys, he don't have any reason to like Norway. He didn't meet any normal Norwegian. He met only one guy who overdose medicine, or he take the totally wrong medicine.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was what I was trying to explain to him as well, that you just got associated with the wrong people, basically. But yeah, so it's all falling apart. What's pretty regular at events like this, at least with the main events, is that they show proof of funds. Did they show you that they had the money to pay you, or did they? Because one thing is signing a contract, you know. I've also been in a situation where I signed a contract and was owed some money and still owed that money, but basically didn't even, just had to give up on it. But are you gonna follow some kind of legal process to at least get your expenses covered, or what happens next?
From my side,
Yeah.
I learn on the mistakes. I get my ass whooped by Ragnarok in a little bit different way. I ask nicely, or maybe less nicely, about my money in the under the screenshot what I post,
Yeah.
and we will see what's gonna happen. I'm busy, man. I'm working. I'm preparing to the next fights. I'm sad. I'm disappointed, mostly of myself, that I get myself tricked like little baby.
Yeah.
With the money, what you say, that proof of the money, man. I fought in some of the small organizations, what they are even not known to most of the people, and trust me, never was problems. I fought in England. I finished my fight, lose, win, doesn't matter. The envelope was waiting for me on the way out from the event.
Yeah.
So from the cage. So I, again, if somebody making so much effort of putting the advertisement, telling me that he have so much sponsors, what he told everybody. I heard also, again, I don't have proof, that he even managed to send the fake documents, how many sponsors he have.
Yeah.
But that I just heard.
Yeah.
So again, we are grown up. I don't gonna background check every single promoter who asks me for fight, right?
Yeah. That's what
That's
you're supposed to have managers for.
yeah. I am 40 years old. I
Yeah.
do this for fun, so
Yeah.
I don't think it's any manager who actually will be interested to take the old guy whose career is basically over.
Yeah, but what's the plan forward now? Because you're looking for another fight. Obviously, you had a long camp, and you probably want to fight.
I don't look at. I already have fight. My last MMA fight in October. I kind of I'm kind of tired. I love the sport, but my body start to saying no to MMA.
Yeah.
It's like it's too much. I'm broken man, more or less.
Yes.
Physically, not mentally. That's kind of I keep myself together. So yes, I have fight in October in England. Then I waiting for answer about the date back to Votore
Yeah.
because of the last final was cancelled or was no contest. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have the final again in next Votore.
Cool.
Then I have in December I already say yes, and it's settled down the bare knuckle boxing fight in England.
Yeah.
And then I'm now on the progress or on the process of talking about the 3 years contract with one of the bare knuckle boxing federation in England. I
Yeah.
will not say yet what kind of because I don't have papers and we have just verbal agreement.
Yeah.
But yes, from January, if everything's go like supposed to go, from January I will be connected with one of the bare knuckle boxing federation for next 3 years,
Yeah.
and that means I move from MMA to only bare knuckle boxing for a little bit.
Yeah.
I still gonna train MMA. I still have some obligation with my students and my friends, helping them to go fight or prepare them to the fight. So I'm still gonna be active trainer, but I think I need to stop off for fighting with or going fighting MMA.
Yeah. But it sounds like you have a plan, and and as weird as it might sound, I think I think it's good to hear that even though the event fell apart, that the fighters came together like the athletes they are. Um, because it seems like like all the athletes like bonded in a way.
Yeah, but
And
that's how it's supposed to be.
yeah,
That's what I say. That's something what make me really happy because, again, in Norway doesn't matter if we talk about the bare knuckle boxing, if we're talking about the MMA. One thing is common: society or more government think that we are savages,
yeah,
and that's one of the reasons why both the sports are not legal in Norway.
yeah,
Uh, I'm happy about yeah, and probably I make even more enemies from Ragnarok. But I'm happy that I stopped this show. I'm happy that I not let this madness go more forward
yeah,
as went because that will if this show will go on and police will stop this any of the martial arts professional fights will be illegal in Norway for the next 100 years,
yeah.
and that's the sad things, and that I'm proud of myself, or hopefully I get some credit of my stupidity to that I was the guy who was promoting Ragnarok, and I'm the guy who turned put this down, and I'm proud of this. Ragnarok, if you hear this, don't blame anybody else. Don't blame your partner. It was me. If you wanna go back to with that, you're welcome. You have my address, so I don't care.
Yeah, because I think that's probably the best part, that the fighters like stopped it because it was not legal, because it's easy to like if there actually was an event, there was a boxing ring there, I think it would be probably much more easier to just go on with the event as planned.
No, no,
But
no. I can't say. I'm sure about myself, but
yeah,
also I'm sure about at least a few of the fighters, and they are athletes. They
yeah,
are serious people. There are people who have too much to lose to make somebody dream come true.
yeah. But it
And
seems
also it's we are athletes. We are not
yeah,
savages.
yeah, yeah,
We don't fight because we like to beat each other. We fight because we like to compete each other.
yeah. That's probably the best kind of advertisement. The both knuckle boxing and fighting in general should have that. The fighters actually aren't interested in just beating each other. It's the a competition, and that's what it's all about, because that's the way we see fighting. We see it as a competition. We see it as human chess, if you like, problem solving. Not, and I think like that's that guy in Ragnarok always said that MMA was community was throwing shit at him and shade on bare knuckle boxing and all that stuff. But I don't think that's the case. I personally don't like bare knuckle boxing because it's a little too much for me, to be honest. But I obviously advocate for them to have events, to have fight, make it legal, and let the fighters do what they want. Because I think we're all grown-ups and should be allowed to do what we want in a competition sense. Obviously, we have to stay within the legal system, but I hope bare knuckle boxing get legalized at the same as I hope MMA gets legalized, because there's not really any good reasons to not legalize it. We already have sports that's more damaging.
Like you see, we have example here between you and me. You don't like bare knuckle boxing, and I'm totally fine with that. I will not hate you. I will not throw the shit on you or your business or on what you are love, on what you are doing. I totally agree. You don't like it, you don't need to like it, and if you don't want to watch, if you don't want to support, I'm totally fine with this. But again, we as athletes, we should work together. Doesn't matter if it's a bare knuckle boxing, if it's MMA, if it's taekwondo, kickboxing, wherever, if it's wushu. Still we do what we love. And we should be allowed to do what we love in the country where we actually live. So
on that, I think we 100% agree. You don't have to like it to legalize it.
Yes. And you don't need to watch to support.
yeah, probably. Because while I was a little bit like this with MMA, because I originally loved boxing, and then I turned over to MMA, and I've tried to watch bare knuckle boxing, but it's just maybe sometimes it because I don't like them signing Diego Sanchez or BJ Penn. I think some of the organizations are taking advantage of fighters that should be finished, and age is not the way to measure if a fighter is finished or not. But if you can see that he's a broken down human, like BJ Penn, for example, he's a broken down human now. I feel like many organizations like take advantage of fighters, and I don't like that. Obviously, they pay the fighters. Some of the organizations didn't pay the fighters, but that's like the main reason. Boxing with no gloves is cool. Some fights are cool, obviously. But anyway, I don't have to like it to want the Norwegian Federation to legalize it.
Yeah, but also if you look at back beginning of the MMA, you will see that was exactly the same. How MMA grow. MMA was signing contract with different people, with pro wrestlers, with you need to start somewhere, and and again we can have discussion, another discussion about who pay how much and why the broken people or broken, for example, DJ Penn decide to fight in bare knuckle boxing. It's two reasons, or probably only one. He need more money.
Probably
because MMA didn't pay him enough. Right?
Might be. And both MMA and bare knuckle boxing are growing sports, obviously. There's not very much money in it, but they're getting there. And for us in Norway, I think it's about getting it legalized to make the next steps, if you want to. Because if we get legalized in Norway, I think it will be very much more money in it for Norwegians, at least, because we can have events.
I from my perspective or from my what I see, if sport will be legalized, doesn't matter so much how much federation is paying. It
Yeah.
will be much easier to get the sponsorships.
Yeah.
I had one interview for, for Ragnarok, unfortunately, and the guy who had the interview with me told me that now it's a time to say thank you to your friends and name your sponsors.
Yeah.
And I was laughing inside because and I said to him I want to say thank you to my only one and biggest sponsors myself, because
Yeah.
that's how it is.
Yeah.
I get the sponsor now. I have the sponsor, clothing sponsor from Poland. Uh, but yeah, for all my career, I had one extra sponsor, maybe two, and all everything else I always pay myself.
Yeah.
Again, I do this for fun. I don't have any future career with the fighting anymore. I understand that, and I know that.
Yeah.
But I know lot of really good athletes, really good fighters, young guys who uh, quit quit the fighting because they need to pay bills,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and work is more important, family is more important. So lucky these guys who managed to get enough sponsor money for growing up in the fighting, and I'm same jealous and happy for them. But that's not enough. We talk about the small percentage of good athletes,
Yeah.
and I think if we manage to make this legalized, more companies will be less afraid to step in and actually help to fighters to grow.
Yeah, I totally agree. Once it's legalized, it's going to be much more easier because I've worked with sponsors and tried to connect them to MMA fighters, and that's a very difficult task. Exactly because in what you're saying, that it's not legal, it's not got the stamp of approval, so people don't want to put their brand names on it. But you can see in boxing with Cecilia Breckus, she has some pretty legit sponsors, even though it's boxing, even though and not to like say anything negative about boxing, but it's more damaging for the brain, in fact, to go boxing matches than it is to go MMA matches. So I hope at some time someone realizes that it's not that scary. You just have to. What I think is that we get amateur legalized now. We can hold some events because it's really not a big difference in amateur MMA fights or semi-professional, if you like. The only thing we need is knees to the head, elbows, and 2 extra minutes on the round. That's the difference between professional and amateur. So
And I think also if we talk about MMA now, from my small what I can say knowledge about the MMA, I think it's kind of cool that amateur MMA will be legal much longer, like professional, because I don't think the Norway is ready. I mean the fighters. I mean the community. I don't think it's ready for professional MMA.
yeah,
I always I talk about that many times, long time ago. Also, I am afraid that if suddenly tomorrow professional MMA is legal, big corporations gonna take over the whole market and destroy by monopoly.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Hosting events where people fight, I think you can do that in any capacity. If you do small events, big events, medium events, I think people will show up to see fighting any day of the week, anywhere in the country, as long as we have enough fighters to fight the fights, basically. And I think that starts with the amateur scene, because to me, watching amateur fights in MMA is kind of more exciting than boxing, professional boxing. So yeah, I think as soon as we get amateur legalized, there's a short way to having professional legalized.
I really looking forward because doesn't matter in my eyes, doesn't matter what kind of professional sports will be legalized first. It's gonna be milestone for legalize everything else also.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so if it's MMA, if it's bare knuckle boxing, or if it's I don't know what else is not legal.
Mm.
Probably professional karate or K1. I'm not following anymore the rules and setups. But doesn't matter what's gonna be legal first. It's gonna be much easier for other sports, fighting sports, to get legalized also. So
yeah,
I'm sharing. I'm coming from MMA, and MMA. I'm gonna always love MMA, and MMA. It's always gonna be take big part of my heart.
Yeah.
So I will be even more happy if MMA get legal faster, or like bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah.
I don't think it will be anyway many bare knuckle boxing shows in Norway. We are, or Norway is too small country and community here in Norway for bare knuckle boxing. It's too small.
Yeah, that might be true. But the weird thing about all of this is that every part of MMA is legal. Muay Thai is legal, kickboxing is legal, K1 is legal, grappling is legal, wrestling is legal, boxing is legal, but MMA isn't legal. So every part of MMA is legal except from MMA.
MMA.
Yeah,
yes.
it's pretty weird. Pretty weird. But I also hope bare knuckle boxing gets legalized because it deserves to be easily.
Me too. I talk a little bit with the different guys. I get some propositions to sign the contracts in Poland, but it's also because of the Ragnarok. I lost the possibilities to fight in the biggest bare knuckle boxing event in Poland. Nothing to do. I learned on mistakes. I think from one mistakes is coming something great later on.
Yeah.
That hopefully it's gonna be soon some announcement on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
I think bare knuckle boxing. What bare knuckle boxing need to do now? It's exactly what MMA was doing when I start my career or my journey with MMA in Norway. People look at us like freaks, big ears. People was asking, "What's wrong with you? Are you sick?"
Yeah.
And now everybody thought that the MMA guys are only the troublemakers and gangsters. It was many years to prove that MMA people are athletes, and we had great guys to do that. We still have great guys who represent this sport in Norway like as supposed to be represented.
Yeah.
And I think the bare knuckle boxing now need to face the same problem.
Yeah.
We need to first work and show that we are worth it to be legal, that we are normal human beings, fathers, workers, and family guys, and athletes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the most important part. It's athletes, and yeah, I have got a couple of questions sent in.
I'm listening.
Yeah. I think you might know this guy. I'm not gonna say his name because I think it's kind of a internal thing. This guy sent, "Do you miss training with Bearnut?" Do you know who it is?
Yeah, I miss. Uh, that was the good part of learning MMA. Surviving.
Yeah.
That's the first thing what you need to learn. I miss training with all these people. I'm actually the last one who's still competing and who is still pretty active with the fighting from this old crew
Yeah.
with Jan, John Olaf Einemo, Joachim Hansen,
Yeah.
all of these guys. I really miss Bernard. I miss the old places or basements where we was training.
Yeah. Yeah. For everyone that didn't catch it, that was a question sent in for Jack the Joker Hermansen.
I didn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I miss training with Jack also. I
Yeah.
remember funny fact. I had some conversation with my students, and I realized, Jack, that actually our MMA career, our first professional fight, was the same show in Denmark.
Yeah, cool.
And I'm here, you are there. So
Yeah. It's funny how it works out. Another guy sent in, hope to see you in another show very fast. When did you realize that the show was cancelled?
I realized I make this show cancel. I knew Friday morning. I knew that this show is no go, at least for me. So yeah. I knew. I knew when I didn't get any papers from Ragnarok, from the promotion. When I didn't get any legal papers, I knew that even if Ragnarok is gonna try to pull this show forward, police will shut this down.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. The rest of the questions we pretty much covered. So I won't hold it any longer because I have to go get my kids in at the kindergarten. So thank you very much for reaching out and having a talk with me. I think it was great to clarify what actually happened.
Thank you for having me. Even if you don't like the bare knuckle boxing, thank you for giving me chance to actually show to MMA fans that we are the same guys. We want the same, just in a little bit different way.
Yeah.
And we had one mistakes called Ragnarok, and I will do everything that Ragnarok, as we know who I'm talking about, will never ever manage to trick any more athletes or fighters to his madness.
Yeah, because that probably was what the MMA community's critique was, that we didn't want to see fighters screwed over. That was pretty much what the mantra was for the whole case, was that we didn't want to see fighters get screwed over. We didn't want to see a legal show, and that's why we asked a lot of questions. But yeah, thank you for coming. We'll have you on some other time to talk about other fights. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys, and see you around in the internet or in the real life.
Yeah. Bye bye.